I hope everyone had a holly jolly Christmas as the sports were good this weekend. Jingle bell, jingle bell. Okay. So, sports though this weekend was good as far as, NFL. We had some bowl games. Three NFL games on Christmas to be exact, but it's good as far as football, basketball. Of course, we had the unique slate of games on Christmas, so that was fun to simultate through, but we have some news we'll get into as far as, sports concerned. The Dodgers added another. Can you believe it? But yeah, nonetheless, thank you all for joining me. Of course, the subscription somewhere in this area, so you can find that. Notification bell, etc. I'm wearing a sweater because it is cold, or being warm, basically, through this holiday weather. But all good. Luckily, I go back to work tomorrow and be in front of an oven, which will be pretty warm in and of itself. So, first, before I get into the sports talk news of the weekend, so for those who follow me on social media, but nonetheless, there may be a visual difference per se with the podcast. Some changes be made up soon. I'm trying to set up backgrounds and nonetheless, but we'll see how it goes. So stay tuned. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. It was an interesting week as far as picks, I would say. I went 11-5 in week 16. Interesting 6 there. But, good slate, good spacing of the games. We had one on Thursday for the NFL. We had 2 Saturday, 10 on Christmas Eve, and then 3 on Christmas. So, just want to show it off so I'm not, trying to hide or anything. So, quality week, 11-5. Christmas did not have a great. I went 1-2 on Christmas. I was going well, and then, yeah. But nonetheless, we shall go into the games as the playoff picture looks more clear with 2 weeks in the regular season left to go. So, let's get into them. So on Thursday, start off Rams hosting the Saints. Key game, very key game for both sides as both are in the thick of things as far as the playoff race. 7-7 for 7-7. The Rams, the 49ers have already locked up the NFC West. So, the Rams kind of need this game more, whereas the Saints could still manage to win the division if all falls in place. But yeah, the Rams kind of need this more, playing better football. Although the Saints, had their way against Tommy DeVito and the Giants last Sunday, and it was a show for a while. Um, the the Rams, for a while they just controlled this game, and then two late touchdowns by Derek Carr and the Saints managed to pull things away, but missed opportunities by the Saints, numerous fourth down stops, or unsuccessful tries on fourth down, penalties, etc. And, great for Kyler Williams. He's over 1,000 yards on the season. Puka Nacua had a great game as well. He and Sam Laporta are my two top picks for offensive rookie year. Unfortunately with C.J. Stroud going down hurt and out, their kind of offensive numbers have kind of not been what they were the last couple weeks. I think he's kind of take a hit, although he's still up there for offensive rookie year, but nonetheless, great one for the Rams. They're now the 6th seed in the NFC playoff race. They're like the Bills. The Bills and the Rams are the two teams you do not want to face in the playoffs, I would say, from both sides. Because, they can really mess everything up as far as the top seeds are concerned. But DeMarcus Robinson, also got to give him love. He had a hell of a day as well. It's pivotal because you already think of the top three on the list for the Rams are Nacua, Kupp, Kyler Williams. So if, say, DeMarcus Robinson, he makes some plays, Tutu Atwell, we know how good he can be at times. Tyler Higbee, can't count him out when healthy. So, great job for the Rams. And, this is the stage of the game where you want to be playing your best football. Mason Rudolph and the Steelers blew out the Bengals. It seems like Mike Tomlin's record of non-losing seasons, may continue, where there was some skepticism, but and yes, Jake Browning has played well the last number of weeks, but no Jamar Chase in Pittsburgh. Off a emotional game against the Vikings last week. Just kind of fell with this team. They were going to find a way, and the Steelers did. They riled Jake Browning, and although T. Higgins had very big yardage game, the Bengals offense felt shut down in the red zone. Just really. And oh boy, how big. You didn't think much of it when Joe Burrow got hurt. But this game just got a lot more interesting for next week when the Bengals face the Chiefs. I mean, with the Chiefs, way they looked on Christmas, Bengals, Jake Browning has looked good. Aside from the Steelers, we'll see. We'll see. It's difficult to say. And this was a fun one on Saturday night, I'd say. Bills narrowly beat the Chargers in SoFi 24-22. It was 10-0 Chargers. Easton Stick, held his own. They got turnover on that kick return, and then next thing you know, they're in position. Easton Stick runs in for a touchdown. It's 10-0. And something's fishy. But then that one play where Josh Allen rolls out and throws it on the mud, a bit out in front, but still to Gabe Davis, and he finds his way to break in for a touchdown. And it just felt okay. The Bills are humming. And they just rolled with it. And Mets took the lead. But then they kept dropping the ball. They just kept turning over. And it allowed the Chargers to regain points. However, the red zone defense, saved the offense debacles and, gave them a chance late. And they managed to kick a field goal to ultimately win it 24-22. And like the Rams are the 6th seed in the playoff race. And who knows how things are going down. But yeah. Bills. Although, give credit to Chargers and Easton Stick and, their interim coach. He had them fired up, ready to play, and they, for the most part, capitalized on the opportunities. Great job by Cameron Dicker. It just, they came up short in the end. But they put up a valiant fight for Buffalo. This was a scary one for the Packers. A scary one. They held on to beat the Panthers 33-30. In Charlotte. I mean, man. What was First of all, credit to Bryce Young, credit to Adam Thielen, who's having a very good year in his first season away from the Vikings. He is deemed to have almost a 1,000-yard season for the Panthers. So credit to him. Credit to Bryce Young. It feels like from the game-winning drive against the Falcons, and now, after falling behind, rallying back to tie the game and almost to win it at the end. Credit to Bryce Young, but yeah, this was almost a collapse by the Packers. They're at 30-16? And the Panthers rallied back. Bryce Young was making plays. Credit to him. This was first time I felt like Bryce Young was taking over a game late. Packers offense was kind of stuck in the mud before they managed to kick field goal late, but Panthers still had a chance. And they hit a big gain to Adam Thielen in field goal range with 7 seconds left, and I'm not sure. I guess it was just maybe an experience, or I don't know, but after Bryce Young hit Adam Thielen, I thought for sure they were going to tie it. I thought for sure. And then they just ran out of time. I don't know, but Packers escaped with a win. Valiant effort by the Panthers. Packers still alive, but crucial game in Minnesota Saturday or Sunday night. Can we give Joe Flacco his flowers? It is some story what he's doing this year. 36-22. Browns win in Houston, and it wasn't that close. It was 36-7, and then the Texans scored 2 late touchdowns in garbage time to win it, or to make it look admirable, the score, but man, what the Browns have been through in injuries on offense, to see what it has become right now is something to see, because start of the year, Deshaun Watson, second season with the team, has a full offseason. Nick Chubb, and then Nick Chubb gets hurt, brutal injury, first the Steelers, and then Deshaun Watson, seems like it's more about him, and then he sustained his injuries, and he's out for a season. Joe Flacco has come in and just, it's not been amazing. It's just like, man, because he's 38 years old. You know, I think people have to remember that he was on the Jets roster for the last couple of years, and then this year he wasn't signed until Browns picked him up from practice squad. But yeah, great for Joe Flacco, great for Amari Cooper. I mean, he is the only Browns receiver to have back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. Credit to Amari Cooper. You know, he had a great day. Njoku, seems like they've been best friends. And, with that defense, the way their offense is doing it right now, great to see. Great to see. So then where it went started to go wrong with my picks. Falcons. Taylor Heineke. The Heineke got me as, first of all, great for Heineke. He operated very well for the Falcons offense, and this is what happens when you give Bijan Robinson more carries. I mean, you have an exciting rookie. Use him. I mean, you found many ways to use Cordarrelle Patterson. You can find unique ways. This is why people have been frustrated about this offense or shaking their heads, including me, at this offense. Because, you can just look at it from the vantage point or perspective. Patterson, Algier, Bijan Robinson, Kyle Pitts, Drake London. Just a capable quarterback play, and it hasn't been all in the quarterbacks this year, I get it, but it's Desmond Ridder. He's shown flashes, but at the same time he's shown, head-scratching moments. But Heineke played very well. And Child, of course, their defense controlled Gardner Minshew. Minshew took over the game for Steelers. Unfortunately, could not take the game over here for the Falcons. And great job by Falcons defense. It's been 30 years, Lions fans, and they got it. The first time since, the first time me being alive, seeing the Lions win the division is something. Kudos to Dan Campbell, kudos to Brad Holmes, in their third season, as a hierarchy for Detroit. They have turned the culture around, and it's been great to see. Jared Goff behind one of the best O-lines in the league. Their offense has been operating at a good level this season. Their defense has been underrated, and it's been fun to see as well with Hutchinson, Sutton, Jacobs. All of them. They are a very talented team. The most well-rounded Lions team I've ever seen. And it's fun to see how they're going forward. Now, That was on the lines. For the Vikings, it's been top. It's been a whirlwind, pretty much, for the Vikings. They're 1-4, didn't have expectations. Just felt like, um, it's gonna be a lost year for the Vikings. Then they win 5 straight, 6-4, and they have hope. See their offense scoring points with Kirk Cousins getting hurt, and then Josh Dobbs. Defense, people don't talk about as much. Their defense has been better than it was last year. And then Dobbs doesn't play well. So then they insert Nick Mullins, who has been better than Josh Dobbs. But, last week, losing in overtime. This week, 4 interceptions, including the last one, which, the last 2 were not needed. They were kind of forceful interceptions that, But yeah, since that 5-game win streak, they are 1-4. And to have note, their only win since the 5-game win streak, 3-0 over the Raiders. That's their only win since their 5-game win streak. Otherwise, it'd be 6-9 on a 5-game losing streak. I mean, the Vikings are better than what the record is. But it just feels like these QB woes have been disastrous, really. I mean, they could have won this game. They very well could have. Just look at the end. 30-24. It's like, okay, they have the ball. 3rd and 27. Justin Jefferson makes a great catch. Okay, they're down the field. Moving the ball. And then next thing you know, 49 seconds left. Okay, you don't have to go for the touchdown yet. And I saw on the play, because I watched the highlights earlier, Brendan Powell and then KJ Osborne, they were both open in the flat where, okay, you could have thrown to one of them, would have been for a small gain, but still a gain, and the clock would stop for out of bounds. So there you go. 49 seconds left. What does Nick Mullins do? Seems like he gets greedy. Now I get it because Justin Jefferson looked like he was 1-on-1 over Mill, but it looked like it was a bad throw and, forced it into Jefferson, and ultimately it was picked. And that was the game. But either way, hats off to Lions fans. Lions fans certainly deserve it. It's been 30 years. Great for them. Yeah, great stuff there. Lions Cowboys Saturday night. You know, much needed win now for the Cowboys. Otherwise, they could very well be on the road when the division was there for the taking. Man. Jets pulled this one out. What was a thrilling ending? We have to say 30-28. Jets over the Commanders. Now, at first it felt like a snowball effect. Commanders were turning over. Block punts. Everything was going right for the Jets. It was 27-7. And then, like last week, for the second straight game, Sam Howell benched for Jacoby Brissett, and then he manages to get him back in the game, and not only back in the game, but in the lead late on 3 scoring drives to get him ahead 28-27, and then late in the game, last drive of the game. Excuse me. Breece Hall really extended it. He had a couple receptions, followed a few runs. It was really the Breece Hall drive to get him in range for Greg Zuerlein for 54 yards, and the veteran still has it. Kicked it with around 10 seconds left and got him the win. I would say an uplifting win for the Jets. Needed, in a roller coaster of the season for emotions. Commanders, I don't know. Because you could have won both games last week against the Rams and then this week, but did not get it done. You bench Sam Howell twice. Jacoby Brissett does very well in replacement of him, and they couldn't get the job done either time. So, I can tell there's some good signs going forward for the offense, but, as a team, it's just, I don't know. Seahawks for the second straight game, went 20-17 on late drives. Drew Lock, Jackson Smith, the Jigba to beat the Eagles in Seattle. This time it was Geno Smith to Kobe Parkinson late to win against the Titans 20-17. Will Levis did not play in this game, but Ryan Tannehill handled himself as expected. Derrick Henry, he had another touchdown pass, so great for him. But just, Seahawks have more to play for. They're the better team. And back in the wild card race, they're currently the 7th seed at 8-7. They are, you know, a gutsy team that, what a difference 24 hours makes for 49ers. I mean, you're the team loses in bizarre fashion to the Ravens and basically got embarrassed against the Ravens. And then it's totally possible that you have a chance to face one of your division foes in the playoffs. And, Niners after a reeling loss. It's hard to beat a team 3 times. So, this certainly unique perspective. The Titans, had a chance late, but time management. Ryan Tannehill couldn't take a sack late, but he did. And then trying to do something. But the Titans receivers tackle inbounds. Just was a mess late. But kudos to the Seahawks. Baker and the Bucks. 4 straight wins. I'd say Baker is gearing for another contract with Tampa. With the way he's playing, great job by him. 26 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. What more you could say, but great job for Baker. Mistakes by Jags, they have just fallen down. But the Bucks were right to capitalize. And, Evans, Godwin, Rashad White is having an under-the-radar season at running back. K. Dodden, I like what he's done at tight end. So, certainly there, the Jags lost 4 straight. They can totally win the last 2, but, man, not looking good for Jacksonville. Baker and the Bucks keep on cooking. Justin Fields and the Cardinals. How it turned out as the Bears win 27-16. Kudos to the Bears and kudos to Justin Fields. They seem like they're finishing the season strong. Good to see, at 6-9, 2 games left. Not going to be able to finish above 500, but, great job by the Bears for still fighting, finishing the season strong. And, with the Panthers likely going to get the first pick, which is going to go to the Bears, you want to make that case for Justin Fields to still be the quarterback of the future. And he had a good game to Cole Kmet. Unfortunately, got hurt. But yeah, good stuff. Cowboys had the victory, and they was snatched away from Miami and the Dolphins. Dolphins won 22-20. Now, I did pick the Cowboys, but I think we can all agree on this. The Cowboys should have had another touchdown. At least. I say that because Tony Pollard had a big whiff to start the game. Now, look, I'm not a professional football player. I only have this podcast, but after watching, the highlights and, people giving their opinions on social media, you can see why it's there. As the Cowboys had it deep in Dolphins territory, it was a triple option from Dak to Tony Pollard. Should have been a touchdown, but instead Tony Pollard ran into Dolphins defender and did not score, and then the next play they fumbled. Give away to the Dolphins. Now, hindsight 2020, but still, looking back at it, Cowboys should have had probably 7. From that drive. But, Cowboys defense played very well in the red zone. As, they forced Jason Sanders to 5 field goals, including what was the game-winning field goal. But yeah, Cowboys, pretty much it was a dogfight. They just kept letting them score touchdown or field goals, but then they would try to score, try to keep up, and then at the end, Dak threw that touchdown, which, at the time gave them a 1-point lead, but their defense could not hold them when it counted, and to try to get the ball back and cost them 22-20. Now the Dolphins have a win over a team over 500, so can kill that narrative. But the same narrative can be said that the Cowboys aren't as good on the road as they are at home. Clearly, so that's why the division is crucial for the Cowboys, because with the division, you at least start at home as opposed to a wild card on the road. So, we'll see. And the Patriots. Those jolly good Patriots. Won it 26-23 against The Broncos in Denver. Freezing cold, 27 degrees, they said. I mean, man. It was 23-7, the Patriots. And it was just a weird game to start off. I mean, it was like 7-3, Broncos at the half. Both kickers missed field goals. And it was just not a pretty game. But then, Patriots started building this lead. Bill Zappi started playing well. You know, there's actually a chance he may be the starter next year. It's possible. But then things started turning for the Broncos. They met. I was like, when Chad Ryland missed those kicks, I was like, okay, he's going to be the GOAT. Because, Broncos going to come back, tie it, and then win it. The Broncos came back and tied it, but they didn't win it. They had a drive, late to try to get in the scoring range, to try to win it. Wasn't the case. Patriots defense buckled up, and then the Patriots offense got it, and then it's always a weird decision when it's like late in the game, you're the team on defense with timeouts. It's like, and it's tied. Do you want to sell for overtime, or do you want to try to get a chance to win? And the Patriots were being conservative on the first couple of plays, but then after timeouts, Bailey Zappi threw a pass that Devontae Parker caught at midfield, and that's when the drive really got rolling. And then next thing you know, throws another pass that gets caught, and they're in decent field goal range. But Chad Ryland, he's missed these numerous kicks this game, so it's like 56 yards. You're like, I don't know. And then he drills it. 56 yards. The Broncos had one last play kind of to try to get a miracle. That was not the case. Patriots won. Man. I mean, one more. That was a fun winter game in the end. Some finish. Yeah. Good for Bailey Zappi. I mean, yeah, good. Ezekiel Elliott, he still has flashes to make. He's not in his prime, but he still has those flashes of good plays. So still kind of weird to see him in a Patriots uniform. And then we go to Christmas. Holly jolly Christmas. With the 3 games on Christmas, unfortunately, many things went wrong for the Chiefs this Christmas game, as they lost 20-14. I mean, to the Raiders. I'll start with the Chiefs first. If you watch the podcast, you know my thoughts on the Chiefs' issues and everything. I mean, you do have to say their defense played very well. You know, they held the Raiders' offense to 6 points. In that department, good. On the flip note, their offense just didn't really have many answers. And that's weird to say based on what we've been seeing the last few years. And then, with Isaiah Pacheco, not really getting hurt. And then, unfortunately, he sat on the trainer's table, which collapsed in half. Kelsey not happy on the side. Patrick Mahomes not happy. I mean, it was just... They still had a chance late, but Zamir White, credit to him. He had that huge run late, which pretty much won the game for the Raiders. Defense played well. Those two defensive scores in less than 10 seconds. First from Bilal Nichols, and then Jack Jones. Great stuff there. That pick six. Yeah. They got it done. And I'm not saying it will happen, but the possibility is there. The Raiders can still win the division. If they win out, Chiefs lose out. And it's possible, not likely, but it is possible. Because the Chiefs have the Bengals next week. And Jake Browning is not playing the Steelers. So there is a possibility he's going to have a good game starting. And he didn't have a great game against the Ravens yesterday, but as far as starting, anyways, yeah. So we'll see. It may be a low-scoring game. First, the Bengals, we'll see. And then against the Chargers, and who knows, Easton's sick. They played well on Saturday versus the Bills, so, we'll see. But good win for the Raiders. Good for Antonio Pierce, who may be the full-time coach after the season. We'll see. If they can get to the playoffs, certainly, that's certainly a job well done. But, to beat the Chiefs in Arrowhead on Christmas, that's a good vote of confidence, it seems, for Antonio Pierce. The Eagles had a bit of a scare. But pulled it out versus the Giants 33-25. At first it looked like, it's like everything was rolling for the Eagles and their offense would be smooth sailing. And then, you have that debacle on special teams with Boston Scott running into Zacchaeus. And that's a fumble which turned to a touchdown. And then that pick six by Dor Jackson makes it a 2-point game, and then kind of a bit of a scare. So, but Eagles pulled away in their defense, when it mattered. Got it done. So, yeah, 33-25. 3-game skid of the Eagles is snapped. The division is back in play for them. They play the Cardinals, which, who knows? And then the Giants again, which, who knows who's going to start that game. So, yeah. And then, mention it, but the Ravens kind of suffocated Brock Purdy on Christmas night. There were 2 games, that ended close. And then after some time of building up this game, 2 top teams in football, 11-3 for 11-3. And then at first it's going to be a defensive slugfest, and then turnovers amounted for the 49ers, and then Ravens basically poured it on, It's like, it was a weird start, At first it started right as you want for the 49ers. It's like, that was that huge play to kill, and then, they're in the red zone, and then Brock Purdy throws number 1. And then the ref stumbles over in the end zone, and Mark Jackson runs back, can't avoid him, and it turns out to be a safety. So then, next thing you know, 5-0, 5-3, and then 6-3. The way things amounted, here's what I'll say. It wasn't a great night for Purdy, but I will say that not all the... It can be a snowball effect sometimes. Sometimes it so happens. I'm not going to say all the picks were on him. It's like the first 2. The first one definitely seemed like it was on Purdy because he didn't see Kyle Hamilton. That was that. He got picked. And then the second one was a great play. Bat in the air by Brandon Stevens and then picked off by Marlon Humphrey. That was a great play. Then the third one, kind of say it was half and half because he kind of fastballed it, and then at the same time it was a drop. It was bat in the air, and then it was picked off. The fourth one, it looked like his arm was hit and kind of affected, but at the same time. Anyway, horrible night for Brock Purdy, and Lamar Jackson, the Ravens, ultimately capitalized. So, great for them. kind of figured, if the Ravens were going to win, it kind of be this way. A blowout. I mean, what it was so easy to say, Niners best team. Sometimes in a game like this, when it's a Super Bowl preview, sometimes, the team kind of needs its comeuppance. I mean, they were on a 6-game win streak, blowing out Dallas, or after that 3-game debacle, blowing out the Eagles, etc. But certainly needed for the 49ers, but they certainly need a rebound. I mean, you don't want to go in the playoffs reeling. They can still win the 1 seed if they win out their next 2 games, but it's still not pretty. But yeah, kudos to the Ravens. They can win the 1 seed if they beat the Dolphins next week. So we'll see. So after talking about football, we need to get into this because it is just talk about a roller coaster for a Detroit sports fan. I mean, on one hand, your Detroit Lions won the division for the first time in 30 years. On the other hand, the Detroit Pistons, 27 losses in a row. 27. Now, I get it, it's a long season, but I mean, with Monty Williams as new coach, with, some of the young prospects they have, this is very much a surprise for me. This is just a surprise, I'm not saying they were going to be a playoff team or one of the better teams, but it's a surprise that they're this bad. I mean, I don't know what to say. But, hopefully they can turn around. They need it soon. They need it soon. So, credit to Northwestern and David Braun. They beat Utah in the Las Vegas Bowl. Now, Bryson Barnes, despite being in transfer portal, started the game for Utah, and it did not look pretty. But Ben Bryant had a great day for Northwestern, 23 of 34, 222, and 2 touchdowns. Second season with the team, Braun, 8-5 and a bowl win. Great job for him. Sal Mariners signed Mitch Garver for a 2-year, $24 million deal. Garver won the World Series with the Texas Rangers. Now, go on set sites elsewhere in Seattle, who I thought they were going to be the sleeper for the playoffs, but they didn't even, or a possible sleeper, but they didn't even make the playoffs. They kind of had a low game, end of season, no chill. So, yeah. But, anyways, guys, that's the podcast for today. Thank y'all for being with me for over an hour. So Thursday, I will have my picks videos for NFL Week 17, and then my predictions for college football playoffs, which are next Monday. Michigan, Alabama, Texas, Washington. College football semifinals, New Year's Day. So keep up. Thank y'all. Happy holidays. Subscription, like button over here. Smash the like button. Leave thumbs up. Thank you guys all. See you guys soon. Peace.